Okay,
Yep.
number 2. What religion are Anne and her family? Levi.
Judaism.
Jewish. You're Jewish. Number 3. What group did Hitler feel was superior? What group did he feel was inferior? And some of you are going to have some little different answers for this one. Not necessarily for the superior, but the inferior. Juan, what do you have for the group that is superior?
The Nazis.
Which are?
Yes, explain a little bit more. I heard 3 Brad. Yes, Aryan. So the blonde
It
hair.
said German.
But they were thought Germans were
Yeah.
superior.
They're not
All
all
Germans
Germans.
said
Slavs.
were superior and the
article
all
it
Germans
says
were inferior.
Okay,
He believed
so
that they were
Frank's
racist or world.
In the article, it did talk about German. Say Mom.
I positioned it on there, but I didn't touch it after I had it on there.
Okay, can you try to
I'm that way, but
make sure it's secure so it doesn't fall? That's not good.
Good.
Okay, so if you had German guys and gals, that is fine. If you
It's
had
shaping the right way.
If you had Aryan race, that is fine as well. The Aryan race is what Hitler really thought to be the superior race. If you had the blonde hair, the blue eyes, that was the perfect race, and that's what he wanted for everybody.
It's upside down.
Number 3, the second part of it.
He put it upside down.
It's the tape in the right way.
Okay, make sure it's not going to slide off though.
oh, it's only in front of it.
There we go.
What is Stop. What is the inferior race? Someone besides Levi. Someone doesn't talk to you. Colin.
Jewish people and anybody who is not an Aryan.
Okay, so Jewish people,
Slavs.
people who are not Aryan, according to the article, it talks about the Slavs, people from Czechoslovakia. From the research that you have done, raise your hand. Who else is inferior? Anthony.
Communists.
Communist. Dalton.
Disabled people.
Disabled, mentally and?
Physically.
Yes. Levi.
Homosexuals.
Homosexuals. Gypsies. Kendrick. Any other ones that you can think of?
Catholics.
Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses. Excellent, guys and gals. List the members of Anne's family. Her mother, father, sister, mom. Who's her mom?
Edith.
Edith, Frank. Her father is
Otto.
and her sister is
Margot.
Yep, the T is silent. It's Margot. Okay, that's how you pronunciate it. List 3 rights Hitler took away from the Jews in Germany. Caleb?
They couldn't ride in their cars. They were not allowed to be doctors, lawyers, teachers, and they had to go to different schools.
Yes, excellent. Anyone else have different ones?
Yeah.
Levi, go ahead and add them.
Couldn't go to movie theaters or visit Christian homes.
Excellent. Could not go to movie theaters, visit Christian homes. Another one, Ida? Be out from 8 to 6. Not allowed to own your business. That's why Otto had to sell his business or give it to someone else. Okay? Another one for you, Brent.
Jews could not marry non-Jews.
Jews could not marry non-Jews. Non-Jews could not marry Jews. Good. Any other ones that we missed? Number 6, what outward symbol were Jews required to display? Logan? The Star of David. Excellent. Not only on their clothes, but on their houses, etc. How old was Anne when she began her diary? Kaysen? 13 years old. Describe a concentration camp and what occurred there. Dylan H.
Place where Jews were held, they were forced to work, and many died from overwork, disease, and gas chamber.
Excellent. You talked about Jews going there, lived there, forced to work there. They died from gas chambers, from being overworked, from starvation. Why did the Franks go into hiding? What do you have for this one, Kaylee?
Because Hitler was starting to kill as many Jews as he could to camps.
That's initially why they moved as well from to the Netherlands. Something specifically happened though that caused them to go into hiding. Did you catch on to that, Keely? Who has not answered yet? Sam.
Didn't Margot get like a form or something?
Yeah, Margot got a letter saying she's required to report. Sister, other daughter got the letter required to report, and that's why they went into hiding. Where did they go into hiding, Juan?
Amsterdam, the Netherlands.
More specifically? Not a country or a Jocelyn? A room in Otto's office, okay? Otto's business office, there's a room, like an attic above it that they had a secret door to that no one knew was there. And that's where they went into hiding. Not a very big place at all. And I have some displays of that, and actually there's an online tour of that. If anyone has looked at that already, that's pretty cool. But you can actually go into the house, and it takes you through where the different areas were, where the book, where the steps were, where she slept, the family room was, etc. Who is Meep? Who is Meep? Brianna Van Haan? Number 10.
She helped the Franks when they were in hiding and doing
She gave them what?
more.
She gave them food, brought them water. She bought stuff off the black market for them because there's rations, right? Only so much that everyone can have. So she risked her life for them. But who was she? Anyone know? Anyone look it up?
A non-Jewish person.
She's not. She's just a friend of the family. Okay. She's a friend of the family that worked there, so she knew about it and she helped them. Okay. I'm not sure the article actually explained that real well. How long were the Franks in hiding, Kendrick?
For 2 long years.
2 long years. Good. When, where, and how did Anne die? Anthony?
They died in Bergen-Belsen in late February of disease.
Bergen-Belsen, which was the camp, the concentration camp that they were at, and she died from a disease, being sick. Did anyone catch when?
1945.
Late February.
March.
Early March.
Late
February.
About a month after they died, and that was April 12th, so I guess March 12th.
Okay, so towards the beginning of April, end of March, she died. And what happened just a month later?
The British came and they took it over.
Yes.
They set them free.
So close.
Juan?
Didn't Hitler die the same year?
Yes. Yep, the end of the war was that year. So they almost made it through, is the point,
He
right?
died the next month, right?
Yes. Who was the only occupant of the annex to survive the concentration camps? What did he do after the war to make Anne famous? What do you have for this one, Ada? Otto Frank survived, the dad, yes. What did he do to make Anne famous, his daughter? He published her diary, and that was a big decision for him. Meep actually also survived. She did go to a concentration camp, but she was punished for helping the Franks. And she's the one who encouraged Otto to publish the diary. When and how did Hitler die, Bailey?
Committed suicide on April 29, 1945.
Committed suicide, April 29, is that what you said? 1945. Listen, interesting fact about the publication of Kitty. Kason?
It was translated in 55 languages.
55 languages. Excellent. Anyone else have a different interesting fact, Bailey?
It started off with Dear Kitty every time.
She started her entries as Dear Kitty, Dear Kitty, Dear Kitty, yes. As if she's writing to her, confiding in this friend, yes. Anyone have something different? Dalton?
Read by millions around the world.
Read by millions around the world. Excellent. And what was the final outcome of World War II for the Jews? Number 16. What do you have for this one, Sam?
Hitler executed 6 million Jews and millions of other people died in concentration camps.
Excellent. Hitler executed 6 million to 7 million, looking at different reports. Millions of others died. Carrying it out. If you had a journal or a tape recorder in which you recorded your thoughts daily, what would you name it? Why did you choose this name? You should just share that within your groups quickly. Okay, what did you write for that one? Go ahead and share that with each other.
Tape recorder.
Name.
Tape sorry.
Puppy.
That really is.
Super awesome.
Nerd.
What? Stop.
Why, Dave?
Dear stuff. I named it name. Dear tape recorder.
Here, we super awesome
What'd you have, Caleb?
Dear tape recorder.
What?
Dear
Mine's the best, Dave.
Frank?
Yeah.
Dear Frank. Every time.
Mine's the best.
All right. Hopefully
tape
everyone's.
Mine's
recorder.
the best.
All right. If you're very excited about yours, did you think yours rocks? Raise your hand. You can share. Brett?
Dragon.
Dear Dragon?
Yeah.
Why?
The dragons are cool.
You just like dragons?
Yeah.
Dragons are your friends. You would confide in a dragon, right?
It didn't kill you and eat
What?
you alive.
You would confide in a dragon?
Yeah.
Okay. If it didn't kill you, it would eat you alive.
Well,
Dylan H.
The brief
Dylan's
thunder.
thoughts.
Dylan's thoughts. Dear Dylan's thoughts.
I don't want to
Brianna,
know
what'd you
your
have?
thoughts.
My thoughts. Kaylee?
Yeah.
Huh? My chump. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, that works. Good chump.
Tape
Anthony.
recorder.
Dear tape recorder.
Sammy's is good.
Sammy, what do you have?
Name, your name.
Dear name. Okay, that works.
Deer.
Just deer.
Dear,
Dear, dear.
Yeah.
Like
Dear,
animal deer?
No, like DEAR.
Oh, like
Dear
deer.
John, dear.
All right, go ahead and,
Great.
you can go ahead and shut your computers at this point for me and get your books out, please, to 8:39. 8:39.
you these guys?
I don't think so. I don't think we'll have time to get back to it.
We're gonna have all Mark.
You'll find out. Page 839 for me, please. Occupants of the secret annex, it doesn't take your voices to get your books out. You'll see the characters listed there. Setting were obviously in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, July of 1942 to August 1945, November 1945 as well. Scene 1, the scene remains the same throughout the play. So try to picture it. Remember, it's drama, it's image. We're supposed to be watching it. Okay? 839, Kaysen. It's on the top floor of a warehouse office building in Amsterdam, Holland. The sharply peaked roof of the building is outlined against a sea of other rooftops stretching away in the distance. Nearby is the belfry of a church tower, the Westtoren, whose carillon rings out the hours. Occasionally faint sounds float up from below. The voices of children playing in the street, the tramp of marching feet, a boat whistle from a canal. Why do you think it's important that we know the belfry tower is there, that these other sounds? Why set that up? Why give this in the stage directions? Sets the mood. Why do you think-
Imagery.
Okay, imagery. Knowing what we know, do you not think that time's going to get away as well? I mean, hearing the tower ring, etc., that's going to be important for Anne and her family. Understand what time is it? I mean, they're going to lose track of their days, right? That's hard to keep track of when you're not getting out at all. That's something that's easily goes. All right. The 3 rooms on the top floor and a small attic space above are exposed to our view. You can kind of picture it there, the imagery that they show there. The largest of the rooms is in the center with 2 small rooms slightly raised on either side. On the right is a bathroom, out of sight. A narrow, steep flight of stairs in the back leads up to the attic. The rooms are sparsely furnished with a few chairs, cots, a table or 2. The windows are painted over or covered with makeshift blackout curtains. The main room, there is a sink, a gas ring for cooking, and a wood-burning stove for warmth. The room on the left is hardly more than a closet. There's a skylight in the sloping ceiling. Directly under the room is a small, steep stairwell with steps leading down to a door. This is the only entrance from the building below. When the door is opened, we see that it has been concealed by the outer side of a bookcase attached to it. The curtain rises on an empty stage. It is late afternoon, November 1945. The rooms are dusty, the curtains in rags. Chairs and tables are overturned. The door at the foot of the small stairwell swings open. Mr. Frank comes up the steps into view. He is a gentle, cultured European in his middle years. There is still a trace of his German accent in his speech. He stands, looking slowly around, making a supreme effort at self-control. He is weak, ill. His clothes are threadbare. After a second, he drops his rucksack on the couch and moves slowly about. He opens the door to one of the smaller rooms and then abruptly closes it again, turning away. He goes to the window at the back, looking off at the Westtoren as the carillon strikes the hour of 6. Then he moves restlessly on. From the street below, we hear the sound of the barrel organ and children's voices at play. There is a many-colored scarf hanging from a nail. Mr. Frank takes it, putting it around his neck. As he starts back for his rucksack, his eye is caught on something lying on the floor. It is a woman's white glove. He holds it at his hand, and suddenly, all of his self-control is gone. He breaks down crying. We hear footsteps on the stairs. Miep Geese comes up, looking for Mr. Frank. Miep is a Dutch woman, about 22. She wears a coat and a hat, ready to go home. She is pregnant. Her attitude towards Mr. Frank is protective, compassionate. I need some volunteers, Miep and Mr. Frank. Dalton, Mr. Frank, I need a girl for Miep. Any volunteer? Sam, go ahead.
Are you alright, Mr. Frank?
Yes, Miep, yes.
Everyone in the office has gone home. It's after 6. Don't stay up here, Mr. Frank. What's the use of torturing yourself like this?
I've come to say goodbye. I'm leaving here, Miep.
What do you mean? Where are you going? Where?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Mr. Frank, you can't leave here. This is your home. Amsterdam is your home. Your business here is waiting for you. You're needed here. Now that the war is over, there are things that...
I can't stay in Amsterdam, Miep. It has too many memories for me.
Just a second. So obviously, what do we know at this point?
The war is over.
The war is over. Otto has returned to their hiding place, right? So his family is all gone. Okay, continue for me, Dalton.
Everywhere, there's something. The house we lived in, the school, that street organ playing out there. I'm not the person you used to know, Miep. I'm a bitter old man. Forgive me, I shouldn't speak to you like this. After all that you did for us, the suffering.
No, it wasn't suffering. You can't say we suffered.
I know what you went through, you and Mr. Krayler. I'll remember it as long as I live. Come, Miep.
Mr. Frank, did you see? There are some of your papers here. We found them in a heap of rubbish on the floor after you left.
Burn them!
But Mr. Frank, there are letters, notes.
Burn them, all of them!
Burn this?
Anne's diary, Monday the 6th of July, 1942. 1942. Is it possible? Miep? Only 3 years ago. Dear diary, since you and I are going to be great friends, I will start by telling you about myself. My name is Anne Frank. I am 13 years old. I was born in Germany the 12th of June, 1929. As my family is Jewish, we immigrated to Holland when Hitler came to power.
All right, I'm going to have Jocelyn, if you wouldn't mind, being Mr. Frank and Anne's voice. Together, you guys do it, and then you pick up Jocelyn by yourself, okay?
3, 2, 1. My father started a business importing spice and herbs. Things went well for us until 1940. Then the war came, and the Dutch capitulation, followed by the arrival of the Germans. Then things got very bad for the Jews.
You could not do this and you could not do that. They forced father out of his business. We had to wear yellow stars. I had to turn in my bike. I couldn't go to Dutch school anymore. I couldn't go to the movies or ride in an automobile or even on a streetcar, and a million other things. But somehow we children still managed to have fun. Yesterday, father told me we were going into hiding, where he wouldn't stay. At 5 o'clock this morning, mother woke me and told me to hurry and get dressed. I was to put on as many clothes as I could. It would look too suspicious if we walked along carrying suitcases. It wasn't until we were on our way that I learned where we were going. Our hiding place was to be upstairs in this building where father used to have his business. 3 other people were coming in with us, the Van Dams and their son Peter. Father knew the Van Dams, but we had never met them.
All right, I'm going to stop there a second. Remember, this is supposed to be watched. Who's on stage yet?
No one.
And
It says that the curtain went over before.
It's
You
just
started
right-
talking by yourself.
The curtain falls in the scene right when I'm done.
okay, so who was left on stage at that point? Miep and Mr. Frank, right? Anne is not on stage. You can just hear her voice. So picture that. You see Otto Frank pick up this diary, Miep pick it up, give it to him, and he starts reading it. They're reading it together, and all of a sudden the curtain falls, and we hear Anne's voice coming out, reading the rest of it, as you're not seeing anything, right? Scene 2, it is early morning on July 1942. The rooms are bare as before, but now they are clean and orderly. Mr. Van Daan, a tall, portly man in his late 40s, is in the main room. pacing up and down, nervously smoking a cigarette. His clothes and overcoat are expensive and well cut. Mrs. Van Daan sits on the couch, clutching her possessions, a hat box, bags. She is a pretty woman in her early 40s. She wears a fur coat over her other clothes. Peter Van Daan is standing at the window of the room on the right, looking down at the street below. He is shy, awkward boy, about 16. He wears a cap, a raincoat, and a long Dutch trousers, plus, likes plus fours. At his feet is a black case, a carrier for his hat. A yellow star of David is conspicuous on all of their clothes. What's conspicuous mean again?
Noticeable.
Very noticeable. So what do we know now about the time?
It went back.
Now we're going back to 1942. We were in 1945 after the war, right, where the play starts. Captivates your attention right there. Comes back, and now it's the time up. Mrs. Van Daan and Mr. Van Daan, any volunteers? Anthony's Mr. Kaylee, Mrs. Somewhere?
Something's happened to them, I know it.
Now, Curly,
Mr. Frank said they'd be here at 7 o'clock. He said...
they have 2 miles to walk. You can't expect.
They've been picked up, that's what happened. They've been taken.
You see?
I'm going to read this one since it's longer. Peter takes up his carrier and his school bag, etc., and goes to the main room as Mr. Frank comes up the stairwell from below. Mr. Frank looks much younger now. His movements are brisk, his manner confident. He wears an overcoat and carries his hat in a small cardboard box. He crosses to the Van Daans, shaking hands with each of them.
Mrs. Van Daan, Mr. Van Daan, Peter. There were too many of the green police on the streets. We had to take the long way around.
Up from the steps comes Margot Frank, Mrs. Frank, Meep, not pregnant now, and Mr. Crawler. All of them carried bags, packages, and so forth. The Star of David is conspicuous on all the Franks' clothing. Margot is 18, beautiful, quiet, shy. Mrs. Frank, a young mother, gently bred, reserved. She, like Mr. Frank, has a slight German accent. Mr. Crawler is a Dutchman, dependable, kindly. As Mr. Crawler and Meep go upstage to put down their parcels, Mrs. Frank turns back to call Anne. Mrs. Frank? Didn't you have Mrs. Frank? No? You were you again? Oh, you were Meep. All right. Mrs. Frank, Ada? Anne comes running up the stairs. She's 13, quick in her movements, interested in everything mercurial in her emotions. She wears a cape, a long wool socks, and carries her school bag.
My wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Van Daan. Their son, Peter. My daughters, Margot and Anne.
Anne gives a polite little curtsy as she shakes Mr. Van Daan's hand. She then immediately starts off on a tour of investigation in her new home, going upstairs to the attic. Mr. Critter, let's have Juan. And let's have, Miss, who else do I need? That's it, go.
I'm so sorry there's still so much confusion.
Please, don't think of it. After all, we'll have plenty of leisure to arrange everything ourselves.
We put the stores of food you sent in here. Your drugs are here. Soap, linen here. I made the beds the way Mr. Frank and Mr. Critter said. Forgive me, I have to hurry. I've got to go to the other side of town to get some ration books for you.
Ration books? If they see our names on the ration books, they'll know we're here.
Oh, thank you, Meep. We're supposed to stand together.
That's right, it's all together. Yeah.
Thank you, Meep. We won't be living here exactly according to regulations.
As Mr. Curler reassures Mrs. Frank, he takes various small things, such as the matches and soap, from his pockets, handing them to her. Shoot, as far as I wanted. No assignment for tomorrow.
Yay.
When we get there.
Oh my!